Ladies and gentlemen, book lovers and literary romantics, welcome back to Spines and Sparks, the low-rent show where bookish matchmaking isn't just a job, it's an art form. Tonight we'll continue our tag-tacular matchmaking adventure where 3 more incredible booktubers will find their perfect literary soulmate. But before we dive in, let's give a shout out to the mastermind behind this tag, Aaron from Aaron Read a Book, whose brilliance brought us all here and gave me a reason to reuse old birthday decorations. And of course, a big thanks from Gavin from Genre Books for tagging me and providing an open invitation to cause some bookish chaos. If you missed the first episode, here's how this works. I've handpicked 3 potential book soulmates for each reader. We'll gush over their strengths, sing their praises, and because I am nothing if not a little pushy, I will make the final call. Why? Because sometimes readers just need a little nudge in the right direction, you know what I mean? I'm Nick, and this is Dr. Cranky Pants Reads presents Spines and Sparks. Buckle up, grab a snack, and get ready for drama, literary sparks, and some truly fantastic book recommendations. Welcome back, and let's meet our first reader. This is Gareth from the channel Books, Songs, and Other Magic. He is an adventurous reader with a deep love for stories that sing, whether through actual music or sheer magic. His shelves are packed with tales of rhythm, melody, and mystical mayhem. But tonight, I'm setting him up with a bookish soulmate that hits just the right notes. All puns absolutely intended. Let's meet contestant number 1, A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. This isn't just a book, it's a playlist of lives spanning decades, weaving in and out of the music industry and exploring how time changes us all. Told in interconnected stories, this novel is about fading rock stars, lost dreams, and the relentless march of time, all wrapped in Egan's genre-defying storytelling style. It even has a chapter written entirely in PowerPoint slides, which, against all odds, works. Gareth, if you love books that play with structure, this is an absolute banger. Let's meet contestant number 2. This is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you've ever wanted to dive headfirst into the golden age of rock and roll, this book is your backstage pass. Told as an oral history, it follows the rise and fall of a fictional 1970s band, their music, their heartbreaks, and the undeniable chemistry that made them legendary. It reads like a behind-the-music documentary, except every song, every scandal, and every fight feels so real you'll swear you're remembering Daisy's voice on the radio. And bonus, if you like audiobooks, this has a full cast recording that makes it feel like you're eavesdropping on rock history in real time. Let's meet contestant number 3, Broken Horses by Brandi Carlile. Music memoirs don't get much better than this. Brandi Carlile isn't just a Grammy-winning singer-songwriter, she's a storyteller of the highest order. In Broken Horses, she takes us through her wild, heartfelt, rebellious journey from small-town beginnings to headlining arenas. This book is raw, funny, and packed with reflections on art, identity, and the sheer power of music to transform lives. Plus, it comes with an exclusive soundtrack, so you can listen while you read. Talk about a full sensory experience. Gareth, let's be honest, this one's a no-brainer. Your perfect match is Daisy Jones and the Six. Why? Because this book doesn't just talk about music, it lives it. You'll hear the band's songs in your head, feel the tension in the recording studio, and fall for the characters like they're real rock legends. Plus, the oral history format makes this an unforgettable reading experience. It's part nostalgia, part drama, and all rock and roll magic. Now, Gareth, off you go. May your bookshelves always have greatest hits, and may your next read be one worth an encore. Our next reader is Erica from Passage of Time. Erica's book taste is all about the big picture, sweeping narratives, generational sagas, and books that travel through time itself. So tonight, I'm setting her up with a story that unfolds over decades, centuries, even entire lifetimes. Let's meet contestant number 1, Northwoods by Daniel Mason. What if the walls of a house could tell stories? This book follows one plot of land in New England over 400 years, telling the stories of the people who lived there, from colonial settlers to modern-day wanderers. It's a book about history, memory, and the eerie feeling that some places never truly forget us. Let's meet contestant number 2, Victory City by Salman Rushdie. Rushdie is a master of myth and history, and Victory City is a spellbinding epic that spans 250 years following the rise and fall of a magical empire. Gods, rulers, poets, and warriors, all woven together in a narrative that feels both timeless and utterly original. Let's meet contestant number 3, The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Time-traveling moon colonies, a pandemic in multiple centuries, a mysterious anomaly that links people across time? Mandel's novel is a sweeping, mind-bending story that jumps from 1912 to 2203, questioning whether time is truly linear at all. Erica, this wasn't even close. Your perfect match is Northwoods. Why? Because it's a masterpiece of interconnected lives, one story layered over another, forming a palimpsest of history and human experience. It's haunting, deeply immersive, and the definition of a passage of time novel. Now go forth, Erica. May your books be epic in scope and timeless in impact. And our last reader for tonight's episode is Sarah from Your True Shelf. Sarah loves books that leave her staring at the ceiling in disbelief, the ones where you read the last page, sit in stunned silence, and immediately Google because surely this didn't actually happen. But oh, it did. So tonight I've lined up 3 jaw-dropping true stories that will shake up everything you thought you knew. Let's meet contestant number 1, The Undocumented Americans by Karla, Cornejo, Villavicencio. We hear about immigration policies all the time, but what about the actual people living these experiences? Karla, a Harvard graduate and one of the first undocumented immigrants to write openly under her own name, dives deep in the unseen lives of undocumented workers across the U.S., from 9/11 cleanup crews in New York City to families in Flint who couldn't get clean water without state IDs. This book is raw, deeply personal, and brutally honest. If you think you know the immigrant experience from news headlines, think again. Let's meet contestant number 2, Master, Slave, Husband, Wife by Ilyon Wu. Some people escape oppression quietly. Ellen and William Craft escaped in broad daylight. Ellen, a light-skinned black woman, disguised herself as a wealthy white man, and her husband, William, posed as her enslaved servant. Over 4 days, they outwitted an entire system, traveling by train, steamboat, and carriage, right past the people who would have enslaved them for life. But their journey didn't stop at freedom. The Crafts became famous abolitionists, dodged slave catchers in Boston, and even helped shift the conversation leading up to the Civil War. This is history with the intensity of a thriller and the courage of an unbelievable true story. Let's meet contestant number 3, A Fever in the Heartland by Timothy Egan. Lots of Egans in this episode. History remembers the big names, but it often forgets the people who took them down. This is the real-life story of Madge Oberholzer, the woman who exposed D.C. Stevenson, the powerful leader of the Ku Klux Klan at its peak in the 1920s, at a time when the KKK had infiltrated American politics and business. Stevenson seemed unstoppable until one woman's testimony shook the entire system. The book reads like a crime thriller, except the villain is all too real and the stakes were the soul of the country. Sarah, this is a tough call, but the choice? Master, slave, husband, wife. Here's why. Ellen and William Craft didn't just escape slavery, they played the system against itself, proving just how fragile the foundations of oppression really were. It's a thrilling, high-stakes story of intelligence, courage, and sheer audacity. Plus, Wu's cinematic storytelling brings every detail to life. You'll hear Ellen's boots heels clacking on the steamboat deck, feel the tension in every checkpoint they pass, and hold your breath as they make it closer to freedom. It's a story you won't forget and one you'll be telling everyone about. Now, off you go, Sarah. May your TBR be forever filled with stories that leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. And that's a wrap on this week's Spines and Sparks. 3 readers, 3 perfect matches, and plenty of bookish chemistry. But we're not done yet. Tune in next week for one last literary matchmaking, because trust me, plenty more sparks are gonna fly in this final episode. As always, I appreciate you, and I hope your bookshelves are brimming with new romances. Until next time, keep turning those pages and setting those spines on fire.